Oh boy, have I got some news to talk about today. So, apparently, a Deep Blue Sea 3 is swimming our way and it's been rated R for bloody images. Okay. I have some opinions on this, but before I get to that, I want to say I really liked the first Deep Blue Sea. It's not perfect by any means, but it's one of the better shark movies that we get nowadays. It's easily in my top 5 best shark movies of all time. Obviously, Jaws is the king of shark movies, but Deep Blue Sea comes in top 5 for that easily. I've seen the movie many times and I really enjoy it. And then a few years back, this was in like 2017, 2018, I don't remember when it came out, but we got a direct-to-video, a straight-to-video on-demand sequel, Deep Blue Sea 2, which I did a review on that movie when it first came out, and I wasn't the biggest fan of that movie. I hated that movie with a passion. I don't remember much of the movie, but all I remember is hating it. And I remember they made like the sharks robots or something. Like I don't remember much about the sequel, but what I'm trying to get at is I hated Deep Blue Sea 2. That was on my worst list of that year. And now they're already coming out and saying a Deep Blue Sea 3 is happening. And according to the director's IMDb, John Pogue, who is in charge of directing Deep Blue Sea 3, it says on his IMDb here that Deep Blue Sea 3 is completed and it's going to have a 2020 release. So I'm going to read this article by Bloody Disgusting. I will link it in the description below just in case you guys will want to read it yourselves. Okay, so it says here, some violence, bloody images, and language. Okay. I don't know what to think of this. The first Deep Blue Sea is good just the way it is. A sequel was not needed or asked for, and now they're making a Deep Blue Sea 3. And this is going to be released according to Bloody Disgusting here. It says IMDb list a July 28th release date for this film. Okay, so the film's going to be coming out in 2 months, and we know no plot details. There hasn't been any posters, any trailers, and we're only just knowing about this now. Like, we were aware a third movie was happening. Like, they announced sometime last year that a Deep Blue Sea 3 was happening, but we haven't got much information about the third movie, and this is the only information that I was able to find, and this was published 11 hours ago on IMDb. This is the only information that I know. There hasn't been any casting for the film announced yet, and they're already saying that the film's completed, and no on-set photos, no marketing for the film has been done. Are they trying to hide Deep Blue Sea 3? I'm not sure. But the rated R for some violence, bloody images, and language. I'm interested. I'm not going to say I'm 100% keen for this, because I would be lying if I said that. I don't even know what the story direction is going to be for this, but if they have a good story and they have something new to tell that can make it a worthy sequel, I'm keen. And the rated R does seem promising as well. With a rated R, you have the advantage to go wild with the death scenes, with the kills from the sharks in this movie. So that's for the one advantage a rated R does have for this movie. And I am keen to see how they use that R rating. So I'm going to switch over now and have a look at John Pogue and look at his IMDb and have a look what he's directed and been involved in. So according to his directors list here, it says he directed The Quiet Ones, which wasn't a well-received horror movie when it came out in 2014, and it had pretty poor reviews actually by people. According to IMDb here, it has a 5.1 out of 10. So he directed The Quiet Ones, Quarantine 2, Terminal, Blood Brother, and Deep Blue Sea, and then he's in pre-production for another project. Okay. I haven't seen many of his movies, at least his director's list. I haven't seen many of his movies. I saw about 15 minutes of The Quiet Ones. I wasn't a big fan of that. Quarantine 2. I've seen the first movie, haven't seen the sequel. And his writing list. According to John Pogue's IMDb, it seems like he's only directing this, so he's not writing or producing. But it does say the film is completed. So that means it's shot, special effects have been added, music, all of that. Like the movie is completed and ready to put on Amazon. There's just been no marketing for this movie. So yeah, like I said, I don't know why that is. I hope we do get a trailer in the coming weeks. Hopefully we do, or just some piece of marketing. Because this is my first time hearing about Deep Blue Sea 3 in a while, since last year when I read an article saying Deep Blue Sea 3 is happening. That's probably the last piece of information I learned about Deep Blue Sea 3. But now they're coming out and saying that the film's completed, that it is going to be rated R, and there's a July 28th release. Definitely going to give this movie a chance because I am a sucker for shark movies. The first Deep Blue Sea I liked. Deep Blue Sea 2 I wasn't the big fan of. I honestly thought it sucked. I hated it. At Deep Blue Sea 3 I'm willing to give a chance. If they have something new to tell and they have a talented cast and there's some cool kills in it, I'm interested. You've got my attention. I can't give you my full thoughts in this video, but when a trailer comes out, I will look at the trailer and see what I think. See if I'm keen for it or whether it's just going to be, like another sequel with the brand Deep Blue Sea on it, just to get money from the audience of this movie. But as for now, I'm interested with the information that I've read. So anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments, what do you think of a Deep Blue Sea 3 happening? Do you think, and do you like what you're hearing? Do you like the R rating? And what did you think of the first two Deep Blue Sea movies? I was editing the video and thought I should add this in. What I think they should do for a third movie. Here's my pitch for a third movie. I'm not sure if this is going to be the story or not. It's very unlikely, but this is just my idea at how I think they can make a great third movie, like a great sequel to the first movie, ignoring the second, ignoring Deep Blue Sea 2. So here's my pitch. So you bring back the original characters of the first movie. I haven't seen it in a while, but the characters that survived, bring them back. Add some new faces in there as well, but bring the two characters that survived the first movie back for the sequel, and make it happen again. They encounter a shark again, and they get trapped in the middle of all of this, and they have to defeat the sharks once and for all. So it's happening, and it could be based like 20, 30 years after the first movie. And it could only be happening now, in present day, like 20 years later after the events of the first movie happened. I think that would make a worthy sequel. And you can show how that attack in the first movie has affected the characters like 20, 40 years into the future where the sequel is based. And you can show what's been happening with their life, like whether they've made like a book based on their experience in that first movie, or they might be shark experts, or they like I don't know. You can go wild with the character development for the characters that survived the first movie. You can go wild with the character development. You can show what they're doing with their lives now, whether they have a family, whether they have kids, like all of that. You can show that and explore that. I think that would be a worthy sequel, because I think where Deep Blue Sea 2 went wrong is by ripping off iconic scenes, like shot for shot scenes of the first movie. They were just ripping off, and there was really nothing new to it. It was bland, dull, forgettable. A third movie, I'm not sure about any story details. I'm not sure if that has been announced yet, but that's where they're going wrong. Is if you want to make a sequel, you have to make it worth it and connect in with the first movie as well. Like, you can't just forget that the first movie was a thing and that kind of started this thing. Like, without Deep Blue Sea, we wouldn't have Deep Blue Sea 2. Whether that movie went wrong is by introducing a lot of no-name actors that weren't really that interesting in the sequel, and they didn't really have the charisma that the actors in the first movie had. And that's why I think bringing back the returning characters for a third movie, it would be a worthy sequel. It would make sense more than to just have some new characters, some new faces in a sequel. I mean, yeah, sure, that is fine, but have the two characters that survived, have them be the main focus, the main story focus of the third movie. But anyways, that's just my pitch for a Deep Blue Sea 3. That's how I think a third movie could possibly work, because surely the studio has learnt what they did wrong with Deep Blue Sea 2. Hopefully they improve on it in the third movie. Like I said, I'm going to wait and see until there's like a trailer or something. I'm just going to hold my thoughts back. I'm not going to say, oh yes, Deep Blue Sea, I'm keen for this, let's see it right now. I'm not going to be like that.